Hello, Michael Swain here after Kansas football's 28-21 win over Iowa State here in Ames, Iowa. And this football program continues to take steps forward. You've seen a lot of change, I think, since the last time KU was here in 2021, a game that KU lost by over 40 points. And I think this season has been about benchmarks, right? KU wins its first game against Oklahoma this century. KU clinches back-to-back bowl games for only the second time in program history. KU now clinches a winning season for the first time since 2008, and now KU gets a win in Ames for the first time since 2008 as well. And I think this game is a perfect marker for how far Kansas has come. Right, you look back to that game 2 years ago, and KU got waxed. They were uncompetitive, dominated in the line of scrimmage, and the game was over at the end of the first quarter. And then here you look at KU getting a fast start, their first fast start in a road game against a Power 5 team since November of 2021. KU has not been a team that has fastest start in road games, and yet they take that next step and they start fast on the road here, and that really sets the tone for the rest of the game, where KU has a margin for error for the rest of the game because they started so well. And it's a credit to the offense, right, for coming out and scoring, right, which has been an issue in these road games, right? It's been slow starts. And defensively, they come out and just dominate the first half. And so there's so much that we can talk about here, and I think our podcast on Sunday will probably be a better spot for a lot of that. But look, I think you look to the trenches in this game. KU defensively, I think, controlled this game for about 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, the time of possession got a little out of whack, and Iowa State started to get back into it. But this is a game that KU has not been very competitive in the trenches, and they were able to hold their own. That is a huge deal. And I think Jason Bean deserves a ton of credit, right? How many times have we come on here after post-game videos, podcasts, talking about the mistakes that Jason Bean makes in crunch time? He can have a great 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden it unravels, right? We saw it against Oklahoma. We saw it against Oklahoma State. We've seen it at different points during his Kansas career. Well, what happens tonight when the game needs its big moments? Jason Bean steps up, right? Think about the big play to Lawrence Arnold. Iowa State scores to make it a 1-score game. KU immediately responds with a great throw from Jason Bean. Closing time, right? Kansas needs a first down to end the game. It's Jason Bean's perfectly lofted throw to Jared Casey that gets the job done. He deserves so much credit for his improvement since this game when he fumbles the ball off of his own leg back in 2021. He looks like a different player. It's a credit to him for improving. It's a credit to the coaches for coaching him up over time. And at the end of this game, right, if you look at those total numbers, they're not necessarily going to jump out at you, but if you look at the efficiency at which he played tonight, 61% completion, about 12 and a half yards per attempt, right? Made big plays, big third downs. It's just the things that I think you've been clamoring for Jason Bean to do, and he did them all. And so he deserves a ton of credit, right? KU's run game struggled again against the 3-3-5 defense. That's a theme, right? We talked about it pregame. It's something that I think is going to be looked at in the offseason because this is too common now where KU can't run the ball. But again, it goes back to being able to make those plays when the running game isn't there to help him, right? And then you look at defense, right? The tackling, forcing turnovers, getting after the quarterback at times when maybe they were a step slow, right? The defense played well. And they were just resilient, right? I think that for me is what stands out. Iowa State punched back. They didn't go down easy. And KU didn't panic. I think that's improvement, right? And so much of this season is about taking that next step as a program. And Lance Leipold said it himself, right? This middle part of the season is where we were going to learn if Kansas took that next step as a program. And it looks like they made it. Now they got to finish the season strong. But 7-2. Not what I predicted going into the season. I was dead wrong. I thought 7-5 was about where it was going to land, and that's not going to be that. KU's going to win another 1 or 2 games this year, maybe even 3. And then there's a bowl game. And in the back, KU is lurking in the Big 12 title race. Going to need some things to go their way, especially after today where K-State lost and Oklahoma lost. But KU's competing at the top end of the Big 12. I don't know if I expected that after this game in 2021. A lot has changed, and it's exciting to look at the direction of the program, and a lot of these guys can be back next year, and obviously I think those are different conversations for different days, but I think a lot stands out about this one, right? The resiliency, coming and playing in a hostile place on the road, taking the air out of the stadium, Just these are things we've not seen this Kansas program do, and they continue to take the next step. And that's what's exciting, I think, as someone that watches this program from afar and covers it day to day. I think you can just consistently see the improvement coming. And it's fascinating to see where it goes next, right? Improvement isn't always linear either, but I think as Lance Leipold would say, they're going to flush it on Monday, get back, get ready for Texas Tech, and another week. And with another week, got plenty of content coming. Make sure you're checking out phog.net. Plenty of my thoughts coming after the game. Observations, quotes. I thought Lance Leipold was really good in his post-game press conference. We've got that video up on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking that out. And make sure you're always checking out phog.net, where we got all sorts of KU football, basketball coverage coming too. Busy times ahead. Thanks as always for watching.